Show. Hi, everybody. It's Mark Messier, and you're listening to Blueshirt
Underground Show,
the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go, Rangers.
Blueshirt Underground, motherfucker!
Can't BS a Ranger fan. Can't BS a Ranger fan. This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York Rangers hockey.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. Today is Monday. It is January the 20th. My name is Jim, and I am joined by the incomparable, the one and only, a man who, if he was elected president, he would get all 538 electoral votes. Well, maybe 522, because he would not carry North Carolina. They don't like him down there. The one and only Eddie Geik. Eddie, good evening, sir, and how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fucking fantastic. You know why? Because it's Monday night, and you know what that means.
Martin Luther King Day. And Martin Luther King had a dream that the New York Rangers and Jonathan Quick could get his 400th win. But instead, they were trumped by the Montreal Canadiens. Are the Rangers just biding their time to the offseason, to the trade deadline? There is no pardoning this team.
All certain players, they pack their bags.
Inauguration day. And here we are. Woody Johnson at the inauguration, was he looking for the Jets' new head coach?
I don't know.
As the Giants, the 3-19 New York Giants, watch Saquon Barkley carry the Eagles into the NFC Championship. Dandy Don, back to you.
Wow, you did a great job.
How was that?
All the presidential, the Trump, the Biden at time, all of that. Perfect job.
Completely off the cuff.
Off the cuff. He did that. Because I said, I didn't really feel like it. And he went and took over.
I'll do it.
Like I told you, he's the talent of the show. I'm just the buffoon reactionary.
I'm never one to turn away the spotlight.
Listen, you're good. You're good. When you're good, you're good.
You are good.
Oh, my God. Yes. The New York Rangers, 4 points.
Trumped in Montreal. Never seen anything like it. This team just can't win. Unbelievable how bad this team can be someday. Very bad. Very bad. Bad. Got to look off to the side. Bad.
Anyway, my friends and countrymen and Ranger fans at Blueshirt Underground World, I'm going to say this about last night's game, and we'll work our way backwards because that's what's in everybody. First and foremost, to use a Dave Maloney term, is last night's game. I want to state that this was a great hockey game. Again, before I get to the biased takes, the unbiased take, I thought this was a really good, old-fashioned hockey game. There was fighting, there was chippiness, there was up and down play, there was breakaways. I thought it had it all. If you disagree with me, then pack your bags.
It had everything but a Ranger win.
Yes, because the Rangers, they're really when I think back at the end of the season when they don't make the playoffs, I'm going to say to myself, what really did in the New York Rangers? It's really a tale of two things. The cataclysmic turnovers and the inability to score on breakaways, 2-on-1s. I saw it even more in the 1-0 win a couple nights ago, where Mika Zibanejad had 3 different breakaways and didn't score. He had one in the shootout he didn't score on, and then he had 2 in the game.
Two in overtime.
Yeah.
2.
I mean, this is going to be the reason the Rangers do not win, do not make the playoffs. They just don't capitalize when they get the chances by their higher-end players, and they make disastrous giveaways. Riley Smith made a terrible giveaway. Will Borgen had been playing good. He saved the goal later in the game. They never showed the replay. Micheletti was jumping out of his chair, praising Will Borgen, and I never saw it, so I can't give him full credit.
Yeah, he slid across an open net and just kind of he was on. I think he was on like one knee, just kind of sliding across, and just got in front of the puck. It was a tremendous play, fabulous, Sam.
I could forgive Will Borgen.
Right,
he's new, he's young. Well, he's new. I'll say he's new. But the other guy playing 23 minutes a night, the only -2 on defense last night, Keandre Pack on that last goal in the overtime, it just looked like a Costa job. Not a Costa latest job, but a coaster. Just not playing hard enough, and he didn't get there in time. Granted, it was a bang-bang play. Jonathan Quick was outstanding in that game. You couldn't ask more from a backup goalie. I mean, so yes, the Rangers couldn't beat Montreal in regulation. Now, normally I'd say, hey, it's a must. It's a winnable game, but with this team, you don't know. You don't know. They're as good as Montreal. Now, they have been on a point streak. I think it was 5-2-1 coming into the game. So, I'm still not, they're basically running out the same team there every freaking night, adding pieces as it goes along. From injury and what have you. But I don't expect, they should win. I don't think we should do that at any game, So it is it was a vexing game, and it left a bad taste in my mouth, because I don't know, it was a well-played game, and I just felt like it was a great game. Wouldn't it be and the Rangers had you see this a lot in hockey too, Jim. The team that never has the lead when it gets to overtime, they always score.
Right.
That hasn't had the lead the whole game.
Right.
They trailed the whole game. And then the overtime goes. I had that feeling going into the overtime.
Well, and of course, Sam has to mention at the beginning of overtime, Montreal hasn't led the entire game.
Of course.
I said to Jen, we're cooked. The goose is cooked.
Speaking of Sam, now I listened to the first part of the Ranger game on the radio with Dave Maloney and Kenny Albert. And I got to tell you, I told Jim before the show, I know you guys have talked about his Tullamore Dew commercials. And he's the only Irishman I know who can't do a brogue right. I mean, we did what was it, Jacob Flannery? What was his name, that guy?
Jonas.
Oh, Jonas Flaherty. Oh, Flannery. Sorry about that. For Tullamore Dew.
Me court rock.
I feel like I could do a better one than Dave does. But anyway, Jim said Dave is probably on the Tullamore Dew when he does that. So I didn't see. Apparently, something happened with Sam. I don't know. It seems to be pretty humorous. Jim is smiling already. I haven't seen this clip, so let's watch it together.
I'm already laughing.
Oh, I'm
already having a good time.
Laugh your arse off.
Look at him. There he is.
God.
Oh, look at that forehead on him.
Put him in the golden villa and get him in a
you
home.
could advertise Lucky Charms on that head.
Yeah, Jesus, you could advertise. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Tell him a bet.
And let's see, where are we? I lost my spot, Joe.
Well, the couple players.
I lost my spot. Now, if you go back to the beginning, he is obviously looking at the teleprompter, and you can spot it right away. Hold on. No, come on. Now it won't play. Damn it. Thank you to Sean for having this up, by the way. Now I lost the damn thing. But you can see he's looking at the teleprompter at the beginning, and then he loses it. Now I can't find it.
I mean, do you think he's got a little bit of the?
No, I think he's looking at the teleprompter. Stupid. Oh, now I lost it. Somewhere on this page. Sean's blog. There it is.
And, let's see, where are we?
He's checking the notes. He's looking for a dictionary. Joe's just standing there smiling.
I lost my spot, Joe.
Well, the couple players.
It's fantastic.
What is wrong with that guy? We do a 90-minute show. Now, granted, the cameras aren't on us. The cameras are on us, but like the lights and the producer, it's a big production. But can't you just riff? Can't you just say Rangers need a big game here?
Let's see, where are we?
Oh, God. Thank God they're sending him to the home.
Spot, Joe.
That was the best.
Wow. I'm shocked.
And naturally,
I lost my spot, Joe.
we've got the clips.
Let's see, where are we?
Let's see, where are we?
Maybe those edibles will make you get dumb. Wow.
So I think I'm gonna. It's funny no matter what, but I'm gonna chalk it up to it would appear to be some kind of teleprompter misfunction. And then he went to the notes and he just couldn't get it back. Jip, he's no improviser like I was. I can talk off the cuff for an hour and a half, Joe.
That's true. Bill would be like, they tell me. It's almost like Trump when he hears things. Bill would be like, they tell me that this Gretzky kid can pass the puck. But yeah, he could have done a little improv there. I don't know. But that is funny. That is, I would have fell off the couch if I had seen that.
I lost my spot, Joe.
Yeah, well, the Rangers have lost their playoff spot.
Right.
So, I got a piece of that botched JT. Chris Drury really can't do anything wrong. But let's talk about this game before we get to that.
Yes, and we also have Elliot Friedman's podcast where he talked about this JT Miller thing as well. So we can play that when we get to it.
Yeah. I know this was a great game. Let me ask you guys. Gus messaged me about the fight between Jack Eye. Is that how you say his name?
Jack Eye, yeah.
Yeah, Jack Eye and Rempe.
Yes.
What was your take on the fight? And
yes, he copy and pasted me as well.
Okay.
I'm sure he did Rock as well.
Okay.
I thought Rempe lost the fight.
What do you go? Anybody saying Rempe draw or Rempe?
I thought he got in some early bombs, and then in the end he lost. But I don't know, no worse for the wear.
Yeah, I thought that was a great old-fashioned type of not a Donnybrook, but a good go, as they used to say.
I didn't like Jack High taking off his helmet and throwing it across the ice like he's fucking Joe Frazier out there. Come on.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't mind that. I like the emotions. This is what the hockey needs, more of that.
I like our emotions. I
that's what I'm saying. That's
hear from the fucking Canadians.
Domi took some paper and put a into his helmet and was making fun of that guy on the Islanders. Who was that? Baumgartner. Do you remember that? Baumgartner had like a mullet, and Domi got a piece of paper and shredded it and was in the penalty. Does anybody remember this?
I don't remember that.
See if you can find.
That doesn't mean anything. You
Primers remember this? It was Baumgartner, and it was Domi. Yeah, I thought that he lost the decision, but the other guy got better shots in. I was just good to see Rempe land some shots, and not, he comes at you like, oh. Yeah, I think in the penalty box, Domi did that. Yes, Ken Baumgartner.
Hold on, let me see if Ken Baumgartner. Let me try Ken.
He was a defenseman for the Islanders. He was a tough guy. We used to call him Bumgard. That's right, Rock. He's a tough individual.
Well, there's a 5-minute video, all 7 rounds. I don't know how many times they fought, but there's a 5-minute video from Hockey Fight Legends. I don't even know if the incident that you're referring to is on there.
Well, let's take a look. Why not?
There's quite a few. Hold on, let's see.
This was at the Garden, as I remember.
All right, hang on.
Round 1, 1990.
Right off the face-off. Round 1.
Look at the number he's wearing. When he's first up.
In Baltimore here. Now Baumgartner has his left hand loose here. He won a decision with Washington's heavyweight Alan May in an earlier preseason game.
Is that a Rick Bennett signing?
I asked him about the
Right?
haircut. He said, doesn't give anybody anything to grab onto.
Father Collins broke up every fight in the 90s.
He's a guy that knows that for him to...
You put the volume a little bit louder?
He's going to drop the gloves and get involved. And he's the type of an individual...
That's as loud as it gets.
Game. Here we go. I guess it was short-lived. Whoa. Ty Domi and Ken Baumgartner. Big. Go.
Ty Domi and Ken Baumgartner.
No.
This may be better than what they had scheduled for Madison Square Garden on Saturday night.
This might be better than what they have scheduled for Madison Square Garden on Saturday night.
Probably going to be a lot more people watching it.
There'll be a lot more people watching it.
Look at Kevin Collins wants to spoil our fun. Everybody hates it.
Baumgartner involved.
What's
The
that?
loudest the Garden's ever been.
Yeah, I was wondering that too, Matt, about the jersey numbers. They look like they're ironed on.
In a fight for the 16th time this season. I suppose when everybody else is warming up for this hockey game, they're in the weight room, are they, doing bench presses? This is the 9th major penalty for fighting, tagged on Ty Domi. That is how you pronounce it, isn't it? Is it Dummy or Domi?
Oh!
Oh, aren't you clever? Is that Butch Goring even back then?
That's Jiggs McDonald.
I thought that. Oh, I didn't think that was Jiggs talking. I know that this might be better than what they have for Madison Square Garden on Saturday night. I know that's Jiggs.
I'm surprised Westfield didn't say that.
I suppose until they get a goal in the league. Dakota sends King flying. Then everybody comes looking for Vic Dakota. It's pick yourself a partner time. Baumgartner over on the far side of the ice. And Domi again, yeah. Ty Domi and Kenny Baumgartner started with Dakota and King.
I love it. They got to show this thing.
King and Dakota being good boys. Van Helleman said no more, and they're not.
Van Helleman!
Yep, Van Helleman gotta get a hold of this game. It's out of control.
That's the thing.
There we go.
I think it might have been that game.
Baumgartner and Ty.
Oh, he had a fucking vicious left hand.
Shoulder pads.
Oh, it's throwing Bob.
They haven't seen enough of one another to really be mad about tonight's game.
And now we have something along the boards, the pile-up.
I don't think they're stealing it.
You see Baumgartner there. He's ready to go with Domi. Domi took on Probert and did a big job against him last week. And Domi knocks down Baumgartner, who had that facial injury.
I don't think it's in this video.
Yeah, I'll dig it up. I'll find it.
All right.
Well, I gotta tell you, those left hands were just coming. I mean, he was rearing way back and then coming over. Oh my God. What a memory there. Anyway, so getting back to the fight, yeah, I think Rempe lost.
I thought he lost, but you know, I thought he landed early. And then in the end he got beat.
Yeah.
All right.
And that guy is not, he's known as a better fighter. He's not, a prelim. And
right.
I've seen where a lot of times Rempe fights and his face is just like he just plays pitcher and catcher. He just catches them. Rah, rah, rah. And so maybe he learned something from George LaRocque in the offseason.
He was he was
closer. I felt like his technique was much better. Yes. So that there was a lot of after the whistle stuff, especially in the first period. I like that. I really thought this was a great hockey game, except the fucking Rangers lost.
Right. No, it was very entertaining. After that Columbus game the other night.
Oh my God.
Joe called that. Joe had the balls to call that a great game last night.
That game.
I said, does he really think that we're this stupid? That game was awful.
It was bad. I mean, other than the playoffs, when is a good 1-0 win? I mean, I had to go to a fucking shootout to anybody get a goal. And I mean, I don't know how many fucking breakaways Mika Zibanejad's got to get in that game to fucking score.
Right.
What you said he had 2 in overtime?
He had 2 in the 3-on-3.
He had 1 in regulation or something like that.
And then he had the shootout attempt and he missed all 3.
I mean, this guy, this is one of the reasons I when I open a show, I says they don't win. Because they don't have anybody. And I mean anybody. I mean, Panarin's got a lot of points. I don't know what Panarin has been doing. I mean, I know he's been getting his points here and there since they started winning, but he got off to a great start. They don't really have anybody. And again, we're back to square one. They don't have an elite finisher. No. I guess they didn't have one, I guess, last year either. I don't know. I just know that they get a lot of chances. They don't convert in the big spots. The only guys who convert in the big spots are their goalies. Jonathan Quick, what a competitor. I mean, just some of the saves he made. Right? And the other guy, what was his name? Borgersneimer? Dobish. Yeah. Dobish. I don't know. Dobish Gillis, whatever his name was.
I didn't think he was particularly good until overtime.
Overtime, he made some splendiferous saves.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought up until then he was pretty average, but in overtime he was terrific.
Yes. Now
Quick. What more can you say about this guy? I mean, he got hurt. He was obviously hurt. He didn't want to come out of the game. He wanted that win. He wanted the 400th win.
He looked
banged his head on the post at one point.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Somebody's got to get this guy the goal.
He looked very upset when they lost that game. Because he had to once again see Keandre just I don't know. Giving it the old math treatment. I don't really have to try to come back and slash this guy's stick out of his hand or whatever I got to do. How'd you like the overtime lineup? The three guys he put out there.
Last night?
Yes. Philip Hedel at center.
Yes. And it was Hedel and Miller. I forget who the other forward was.
Was it Kreider? No. Does anyone remember who the other forward was?
I don't remember.
I just was, first of all, I was shocked that Keandre Miller's like, please. Why? He keeps Laviolette keeps throwing him out there. I don't know. Are they showcasing this idiot for a trade? Because the showcase is going down because he's the fucking worst player out there. Now he's dragging poor Will Borgen down.
Some guy on Twitter last night said Keandre Miller has been great. Used the word great and said, and now that he has one bad game, everybody's ready to pounce on him. I said, first of all, I went back at the guy. You know me, I usually avoid Twitter arguments because they're foolish. But I had to go back. I'm like, first of all, you got to be kidding me with the great. I said, you're getting panicky. I said, he's been good for a couple of games. I said, but he's been terrible all season. Then this guy throws me a chart. I'm like, I said, you are the only person. I said, I don't know anybody who watches this guy who would ever say he was great. I said, I don't even know anybody that would say he was good.
He was never great. Even me, for the first, up until the season, I was, okay, this guy he's good. He's taken a big dip in his play last year, but I was looking for a comeback year, and all I got was a bigger dipper, little dip, big dipper. So now he's just abominable. I talked to the great Mandar, and I said to him, I posed the question.
The great Mandar.
I said to him, who was worse? Michael Del Zotto, which I had to refer to him as number 4.
Number 4.
Mandar would never call Michael Del Zotto by his name. He only just is number 4, and you knew who he was talking about.
Not
4. Ron Greshner.
Not Ron Greshner.
But MDZ. And he goes, that's a tough one. I'm just going to have to call him Keandre number 4. So he is, I don't know what they're doing. There is no chart that any scientist could come up with, or mathematician, no trigonometry, no fucking, there is no equation that leads to this guy being serviceable. That's his peak right now. Serviceable. If he can be serviceable Everybody's, oh, look, he's not making mistakes. You're not supposed to make mistakes, asshole. He hasn't been good. He's awful, as Jonathan Riggs said. Awful. And to have him out there at 3-on-3, it's like throwing a time bomb. It's like throwing a bomb on the ice. And it's like playing fucking Russian roulette. And there's one bullet in 3 roll. There's 3 chambers.
I mean, he's the first defenseman on the ice in overtime. He would be my 4th choice. Only Vakanainen and Lindgren would get less ice time in an overtime than Keandre Miller.
Yes. And I would like to speak to the Vakanainen Wilborgen. We've got to give them their props. I think so. They have played pretty well for guys we fucking never heard of. I'm not going to pretend that I know these guys from fucking Adam Fox. But not, and I think Wilborgen, who is saddled with Keandre Miller, has played pretty well. He's been steady. The coach likes the way they're playing. Zach Jones is a distant fucking memory. You might as well. He'll be traded. He's been asked for a trade. But I like
Early Jones might play before he did. Before you might see Daniel Jones back there before you see Zach Jones.
And Rock is still continuing to follow ex-Ranger Brett Howden. Got his 16th goal. But you know what? I was there on Brett Howden night in Las Vegas. He didn't get any goals. As a matter of fact, the New York Rangers beat the Vegas Knights 2-1 on Brett Howden.
I don't see a poster by the moon back there yet.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot all about that.
Oh, Joe.
Oh, Joe. I got to get that. Is that still on eBay?
I lost my spot, Joe. Well,
that happens to me quite often. So, not my best choice, but apparently that's who we put out in the overtime in the game before against that terrific game against Columbus.
Oh.
This guy stunk Mika. He's talking about the video. Zach Jones, pack your bags. He's probably already packed.
This guy sucks.
So, yeah, that's another thing I'm reading in the chat room. I saw our boy, what's that guy's name? Stat Boy Steven.
Yeah.
I ran by one of his tweets by my friend who doesn't know that we know him and he's been on the show and everything. And he said, "Oh, Stat Boy Steven is fucking, he's losing his mind that Kako has all these points with Seattle now. Like he's pointing it out." I'm like, who gives a fuck? He's stuck at Seattle. Seattle's a shit team. He's playing on the first line. God bless. God bless. I hope they give him an $8 million contract for 10 years. I forgot about it. I don't root for guys who are not on the team anymore. I don't follow them. It's in the ether, the Ranger ether. You can't get away with it because there was all those Kako. People became fans of players all of a sudden and not the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, now they can say they were right. Kako was misused by the Rangers. Come on. How many games did we watch of this guy? 240? I mean, really, maybe 320 games? Did I see anything that I liked about this guy? Did he get points? Did he score? The only thing I could ever come away with is he was good at protecting the puck. And he was reliable defensively. That's all I could come. I mean, was that your conclusion?
Mostly, yeah. But
I mean, I know your daughter liked him, but I mean,
she did, yes. But I still think it points to development. What are we doing? What are the Rangers doing with these guys?
But do you really think in a month he's been with the Kraken, they've developed him? He was as he was.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
There is no.
Maybe they saw a flaw in his game. Maybe they saw a flaw in his game and corrected it.
Get the fuck out of here. Maybe he's in Seattle. He's got no pressure on him. He knows he's going to play the first line. Maybe it's a thing like that. Like his ego was assuaged, to use the big college word. And, now he's in his rightful place playing the first line on the Seattle Kraken. God bless.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, John Pacini says he's better than Jack Hughes. I'm reading these other comments. Funny. So I don't care. Taco can score everywhere. So you got that. We got the Brett Howden watch. Can you honestly say that Brett Howden was anything? I know Sean Stein, I think, was a big proponent of Brett Howden. Listen, I can be wrong. But when I don't see anything, I don't see anything. Maybe these guys are better coaches. Maybe the Kraken staff is. Hey, I can believe. Anybody's staff and organization's got to be better than what we do.
Right.
That I can believe. But to such a turnaround, he becomes a scoring machine. So I don't know. But it was a sad ending to that Montreal game. It really got my craw because it was a well-played game, and they had the lead. They kept Montreal was tired, and then they would come right back. They showed a little bit of fortitude, testicular fortitude, and I was very impressed. And then, of course, the dagger in the heart.
Right.
So now we're stuck with 2 points out, 4 points out with 2 games at hand. And what do you guys feel about the Rangers? Do you want them to make the playoffs? Or do you want not to make the playoffs? Playoffs? Or do you think it's futile to even think that the Rangers are going to make the playoffs or root for the Rangers to make the playoffs? Because
I'm pretty much whatever happens.
Okay.
Whatever happens.
Well, I think we've all agreed that we want them to be sellers at the deadline.
Well, yeah, unless there's a Cadillac, like I said.
The Cadillac becomes available?
Right. I don't know who that Cadillac is. Is JT Miller a Cadillac? No.
So what happened with the Knicks trade? I saw this Knicks trade, not the New York Knicks, but a trade that Elliot Friedheim, what did he say? Friedman?
Elliot Friedman. Well, it all started, I guess, when the Wolfpack held 3 guys out of the lineup the other night. And then that started the trade speculation that there was a trade getting, that's why they were being held out of the lineup. And then there was speculation that a JT Miller deal, they were working on a deal and they had a deal and then it fell apart. So, there's been a lot of back and forth, a lot written. Apparently Hedel might have been part of that deal. That was from Vince Mercogliano from NorthJersey.com. He said that Hedel's name was in the mix. But
Hedel was like a strong fart away from fucking another concussion and being out for the rest of his career.
Hedel and Lindgren, I guess, were the rumored players, and then maybe a first-round draft pick. And then I think what Elliot Friedman said today on his podcast was that the Rangers there were conditions on the trade, and the Canucks decided they didn't like the conditions. I don't know. We're going to listen to it. I haven't really heard it yet. It's my phone. If you must know what's vibrating, it's my phone sitting right next to my microphone. There, I moved it.
These people notice everything.
I
love it.
Right.
All right. Now, to me, that trade is like, I know JT Miller has, he fucking hates Elias Peterson. He wants out of there. And he only wants to come to the Rangers. But don't you think that isn't Ryan Lindgren a pending free agent? Correct.
Yes.
Filipino is a fucking. He's an injury prone third liner, second line. I guess second liner. He can't win fucking faceoffs. And the Rangers vaunted first round pick. I feel like that isn't to get JT Miller, who the last 3 years has put up some nice points, but a really good, solid NHLer. You're giving him like garbage. I feel like that's why they nixed it. You'd have to sweeten the pot a little bit more, I thought. But I don't know how bad JT Miller wants it. If he's wants out and if he's going to perform an operation shutdown.
He only had 103 points last year. I can't imagine why we'd want him.
Exactly. He's only 31, too. He's not an old dude. It's just that we came up for the Rangers. He was 18.
Right.
That's the thing. Oh, well, I don't know. How are the Rangers going to afford this?
Now, I read this in an article today. Hold on. I want to see if I can find it here. What's next for the Rangers? It said that he's a somewhat difficult personality, even back in his Ranger days. Did you ever hear that?
The only thing I remember is that Tortorella made again, this was kind of a ambiguous comment, and I don't know how. I didn't know how to take it then. I don't know how to take it now. Maybe this is referring to that he had a little bit of cowboy in him.
Right. I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
Oh, for all I know, he liked to ride horses. He liked to rope and ride.
Yes, that's right. Give him that Howden poster to sweeten the pot. I like that, Mario. I got to get that thing so we can complete the trade.
Right. That's the condition.
Well, Mika's got a no movement clause. How are you going to get that guy? He don't want to leave. He's like the guest that wouldn't leave from that Saturday Night Live bit.
Gordon said he was hard-headed. Well, he'll fit right in because this team's pretty hard-headed about a lot of things.
Yeah. I don't know. 101 points, though. I don't care how hard-headed you are. He's good on face-offs, right? He's talented. He wants to play here. Bring him over. But we don't know from their side what,
58% on face-offs. 103 points last year. We can't use this. We can't use this guy.
We don't want to go backwards. Oh, we should have kept them.
Well, that's your line. We don't want to go backwards.
Well, usually they're usually washed up.
Right. We don't want to go Paul Mara backwards, but JT Miller backwards will go.
With him. I don't know.
Just wait 2 years until they go Capo Caco backwards.
Oh, yeah. Well, good luck. God bless. God bless you.
Do you want to listen to what Elliot Friedman had to say?
Yeah, see what this Friedheim had to say.
All right.
I'm like Archie Bunker. He knows the real names of the people, but he calls them by the fake.
Right.
All right, let's see what he's got.
Things go between McDavid and Myers as their incredible fireworks to wrap up the Oilers and the Canucks.
You're
once
upset.
again. One of the great rivalries in the Western Conference here, born the last couple of seasons. So
fuck that.
The news did not stop there on the BC West Coast on Saturday, Elliot, because JT Miller on Saturday had 2 assists, a couple of penalty minutes, 20-25 of ice time. That was the most minutes he's played since prior to the Christmas break. But you had the whopper on Saturday headlines with Ron from Canmore that there was a time on Saturday that Miller wasn't even supposed to play because there was a pending trade with, you believe, was the Rangers, but something happened. Obviously, trade didn't happen. He played. As we record this, JT Miller is still a Canuck. Now, You have linked this team and player since this saga all started earlier in the year. Where do things stand right now?
So let me just take everybody through the weekend because I think that's the best way to do it. If you're a Canuck fan, like producer Dom, you know that Thursday was a really rough night. He played only 14-34. The Canucks were against the Kings at home. They lost 5-1, but that game was over early. They were down 3-0 less than 10 minutes in. And, you know, you talk about when you go to a game, you want the players to care as much as you do. Those Canuck fans, they were furious after that game on Thursday. And, you can't blame them. You pay a ticket, you pay those prices to go to a game, and you don't want that. And they were angry, and they deserved to be angry that night. It was a terrible performance. And I think that's one of the reasons that the Canucks players were so wired up for that Edmonton game. Big rivalry, and, they'd had 2 really bad losses in a row. So after that game, there was also the point where Tocchet went down to Miller, and Miller went down to the other end of the bench, and it just looked all bad. And, there's been a lot of conversation, and obviously I've been part of it too, about the whole Miller-Pettersson relationship. At that point after that game on Thursday night, I don't think it had anything to do with the 2 players. I think it had everything to do with an overall frustration with how everything was going, and I think the Canucks made a real effort to say, we're doing this, and we're getting this done. Now, I'd heard that Miller had asked for a trade, but had finally said, just get me out of here. But that was denied to me. And I think, as a couple people just said to me, like, everybody knows what's going on here, and they're trying to work to get something done. But a specific trade request, that was denied to me by several people. But I think there was a point on Friday where it looked like with the Rangers, it was close. And Miller was told it was close. And on Saturday morning, when I woke up in Canmore, I had messages to check on this because I don't think Miller is playing tonight. And then something happened. And I don't know if it was on Friday night. I don't know if it was on Saturday morning. But after the morning skate on Saturday, there was no inclination he wasn't going to play. I waited all day. It never changed. Obviously, he played, and he played a great game. He was one of Vancouver's best players. I think they had something going with the Rangers, and I think it fell apart. And I don't know. I have some theories, but I just don't have enough proof. I don't think Miller vetoed it. I just, for whatever reason, I just don't think it got to the finish line. But anytime a team goes to a player or an agent or whoever, but a lot of people knew there was a chance he wasn't going to play, then whenever a team goes and does that, they think it's close. And I had several people who told me they thought it was close. And again, I think it was the Rangers. Now, there's been a lot of names thrown around. I don't think it was Abinadjad vetoing it. I don't believe that's the case. I think that was something, I think he came up a long time ago, and I just don't think that's something that interests Vancouver. I don't think it was Schneider. I think the Canucks have asked about him several times before and can't get him. And I could always be wrong, but I don't think it's Lafreniere either. I know his name has been thrown around. I don't think in this case it was him. I think it was simply a situation where the Canucks were like, we would like to do this, and it just didn't get done for reasons I can't confirm at this time. This doesn't make me think that any attempt to trade with the Rangers is dead. I don't know that, but all I know is that right now there's nothing, as of Sunday night when we recorded this, imminent. The other thing that's a case here is that on Tuesday, the Canucks sent out a note to all the teams in the league reminding them, nobody has permission to talk to any of our players without
getting it from us first. So obviously the Canucks thought that someone on their team was being tampered with. I mean, I don't know who it was, if it was Miller or it was someone else, but they felt there was.
Okay. All right, I don't know how much longer they go on.
No, I got enough ammo here.
That's the
gist. Now, Jim, let me tell you something. I gotta say, I don't know what the fuck Chris Drury is doing. This guy can't get anything done. Everything is dragged out. Everything is
There
ill-timed.
you are.
Yeah, I flipped. I'm on a different side now.
Yeah, hang on, my internet went kablooey there.
Oh, we're back again. Chris Drury and his timing and his everything is dragged out. Nothing happens quick. Nothing happens. He just can't make anything happen. He can't trade away a guy. He can't trade for a guy. He can't do anything. He's inept. I don't know why it's so methodical for this guy to make a fucking deal. This just sounds like another botched, Drury fucking thing. It
does seem a lot of drama.
Yeah, nothing happens behind the scenes. Everything happens out in public. There's not, there's not. Everything is revealed. I mean, this is embarrassing. I mean, everything with the Rangers, the air, the dirty laundry. There's no professionalism, no lack of execution. He should be executed. But I will give him one little thing. Now, again, this goes back to the Varkanainen and Borgen trade. Now, listen, I'm not saying a year from now we're going to be talking about these guys. But they have filled in pretty well. And to me, I'd never heard of these guys before, and I think I said that earlier. But he's not trading away for bum, but everything is out in the open. This is not the way you deal. And who's going to want to deal with a guy who's going to fucking leak everything?
Right.
Yep. Yeah. How many Ranger fans think Chris Drury's doing a great job?
Just the guy that likes Keandre Miller.
Yeah, that guy.
Just the guy that thinks Keandre Miller's been great.
This is not a way to operate a business. It's. I hope they get him. I like the player, but the money, I couldn't tell you. They get stuck with him 5 years till he's 36, 37.
I believe
that never
so.
worked out well. We all know that. It's just not going to happen.
He is signed through the end of the 29-30 season.
Oh, Christ.
He'll be a UFA at the ripe old age of 37.
We know that's not going to work out well, but you get 2 good years out of him. I don't know. I'm torn. I don't even give a fuck if it happens or not. All right? I liked him when he was with the Rangers. The Rangers traded him in a god-awful fucking trade. He didn't do anything with Tampa, so I can't say, we traded away JT Miller. They fucking got rid of him. So, Drury, pack your bags. And yeah, it's a bit of bad. That's true. He's got a big-time contract. But the only contract they pay for, and he's played what is Panarin. He's been worth the money. How many forwards can you say about that? Oh, Arthur's Kaliev, who scored the other night.
Yes.
Again, he looks better. I guess he's rounding into game shape. Do you know who his favorite player of all time is?
Rick Nash.
That is correct, sir.
Is it really?
Yes.
Man, I must have heard that. Because I was just
thought
taking
you heard that.
I was just taking a crazy guess.
That is his favorite player. He grew up watching. And I'm like, I don't know, Artis. You should have said Nick Fatiu.
Nick Fatiu.
This is from Staten Island.
Right. That's true.
When he said that, I said, oh, boy. But, Rick Nash had a good career before he got to the Rangers, so I could give him that. But so I was a little perturbed by that. Bill Chadwick now in.
Oh, it's about time.
Bill was expected earlier?
He was probably on a bender.
Miller for Miller.
You never know.
Up for vanilla Oreos for regular ones. Wow. That's very hip of you, Bill. On just a lot of a mess with the New York Rangers. And so you have a lot of stuff. There's always some kind of Ranger crisis going around.
Right.
Any thoughts?
That's what we're here for.
I know it was only a 1-0 game. Igor gets the shutout. I think we got to give a round of applause for Igor. He very rarely gets shutouts. Not as much.
27 saves.
And you know what? Columbus is no joke this year. They're a playoff team. And
they work hard, Sam.
They work. I figured they would lose to the Coats and then beat the Nads, the Canads, as I call them, the Nads. But it was not to be. But they managed to get 1 point, whatever the fuck that means. The loser point. So I don't know. I really thought it was a fucking boring game. I mean, I don't know what else. You can't really talk about it. I mean, I don't know. But this Canadians goalie, this dude, Dubish, what's his name?
I think it's Dobish.
He has a good winning streak going for them, Sam. He's been playing well, so maybe. And what's going on with the fucking still booing Chris Kreider? Carey Price has been retired for like 3 years. It is still. What is up with that? It wasn't even dirty.
Do we really have a right to question another team booing one of our players?
Yes, but me and you, we have a right. We could go against our own fandom, such as the Potvin sucks thing, which is stupid, because it wasn't a dirty hit. And it was just, when a guy who got the injury tells me personally that it wasn't a dirty hit and it was a rut in the ice, I tend to believe the player, not the fucking legend or what happened.
Right.
From Buddy the drunk who was at the game and thought it was a dirty hit. I just, I go against it. Now, who do you think we boo? Who do we boo because of a past transgression that was not true?
Well, I'm talking about the whole Potvin sucks thing. It's
okay.
45 years and we're still doing this. 90% of the people in the arena don't know why.
They go to YouTube. I was at that Ranger Open practice with Galante and that one, and a kid behind me is like, "Yeah, I went to YouTube and I looked up the Potvin sucks why they say it, and then they showed you how to do it." The fuck? What's that? A life hack to fucking say the Potvin sucks chant? Learn how to do it.
It's a life hack.
I don't know, whatever they call a hockey hack. John Potvin really did suck. He was bad.
Touchdown Notre Dame, if you care about such things.
My friend Keith went to Notre Dame. He's a big fan. So I guess it was 7-0?
6. They haven't kicked the extra point yet.
Oh, okay.
You know who went to Notre Dame, Sam?
Oh, your boy there.
Producer Chris Ebert.
Well, I guess you shut that teleprompter off in front of fucking Sam. Thank you, Chris.
I don't know if Chris is still speaking to me, honestly. I think I upset him when I criticized the broadcast the last time we saw him.
Chris, tell me, Joe Micheletti hates this team, right?
Right. I said, why does Joe Micheletti hate the Rangers? I don't think he liked it. I don't think he...
they get very sensitive about...
I don't know.
Outside media, like the very... there's still, as much as some other teams... I guess when you're running a production,
he might have got upset with me.
I don't know. Whatever. You could live with it.
I mean, I don't think he's. I don't know. He might be upset.
Really, Nashville still boos Veazey?
Well, they still boo Fox and was it Calgary, right?
Right, but at least he won a Norris Trophy. What the fuck did Jimmy Veazey win? Jimmy Veazey is like a fourth liner.
He didn't want to play there, right?
Yeah, but they should be glad he didn't want to play there. I mean, maybe not now. Nashville's not so good, but I guess you don't sign.
Fans take it personally.
Do you think Ranger fans would take it personally? Say, Gabe Perreault comes out and he comes out of college there and he says, nah, I don't want to play for the Rangers. Would we hold it against him?
Of course we would.
I wouldn't.
We'd hold it against his grandchildren. Are you kidding me?
Come on. Who wants to play for this team? Bunch of losers.
We'll be doing this show in 2080. Remember that guy, Gabe Perreault, said he didn't want to play here?
Can you recall a player who didn't want to play here?
No, they all want to play here. Yeah. Oh, wait. What about Messier? No, didn't was it Stefan Quintal with the Rangers and said he wanted to go back to Montreal and the Rangers sent him home? Do I have that story? Am I remembering that right?
Stefan, pack your bag.
Right.
Was that him? Yeah, you're right. He was Stefan Quintal. He sucked anyway.
John Riggs is
he's on it
in the chat.
I wonder if did we boost Steph Quintal after that?
I don't remember.
Alex Newhook refused? How dare he? How dare you, Alex Newhook? I don't know. Everybody wants to play at MSG. Why? I don't know. No history of winning.
Like looking up at all those Atlantic Division champion banners.
Yeah.
Patrick Division champion 1986. They like those.
I will. They are. I mean, as far as the amenities that go for the players, they are a first-class organization.
Oh, sure. They're treated like fucking royalty.
Yeah. But the Rangers as a team, they don't have a winning history. I will say they will spend money, usually on the player that wants to come here. They'll overspend.
Was that when they signed Ryan Skrudlin and Mike Keane, right? Am I thinking of the same year?
Yes. Mike Keane, not yeah, that was when they had that other Ottawa defenseman they got. Sylvain Lefebvre.
Sylvain Lefebvre.
Yeah. We got real French up in here for a while.
We did. We also didn't talk about the Utah game, which we'll get to in a second. But before we do, while we have everybody's attention, as I like to say, let's give this a little plug. March 8th, 6 weeks away, 6 weeks from Saturday, if my math is correct. Blueshirt Underground viewing party, Saturday, March 8th, 12 o'clock. It's a 12:30 game against the Ottawa Senators. Road tilt. We will be at McHale's, 251 West 51st Street, right at the corner of 8th Avenue and 51st Street, in the heart of the Broadway district. Right across from the theater where Wicked used to be. I don't think it's there anymore, but it used to be. It's unbelievable. It's going to be the big. I got to look to the side. It's going to be the biggest viewing party we've ever had. Everywhere we go, people say they've never seen anything like a Blueshirt Underground show viewing party. Melania will be there. Sleepy Joe. It's going to be the biggest prize. We're going to give away the biggest prizes anybody's ever seen. So, yes, come out and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff to give away. We've already talked about it. Eddie's got a Jimmy Vesey autographed jersey to give away. We have a surprise gift that we are keeping under wraps.
A raffle prize.
We've got other raffle prizes to give away. Maybe McHale's will come through with swag they have in the past. Who knows? It's going to be unbelievable. There will be no pardons given out.
No.
If you're not there.
Oh, no pardon my friend. He's really drunk. That's about you'll hear.
So
I wanted to say something. This is, if you're very sensitive to who the president is now, but this is president related, but it's not really about the president. You know that MAGA has kind of, I don't want to say co-opted, but one of the songs they play at the rallies is YMCA.
Yes.
Right? Now, any of us here that are of a certain age know that the Village People were about as gay as you could get as a band. This song is about the YMCA. Let's just to call facts. And I'm not calling out MAGA on this. I'm calling out the fucking idiot the guy who wrote the song. Now, I'll find this somewhere on the internet. We'll have it for the next time. The guy, the policeman, you know, the singer guy who sang the songs.
Yes.
Most of all the songs. He is claiming that this song was not written with any gay intentions, that it was somehow co-opted by the gay community. The song is about going to the YMCA in the 70s and hanging out with all the boys and sleeping over.
According to some in the gay culture, the song was implicitly understood as celebrating YMCA's reputation as a popular cruising and hookup spot, particularly for the young men to whom it was addressed. The initial goal of Village People producers Morali and Balolo was to attract disco's gay audience by featuring popular gay fantasy in their music. There you have it.
But the guy who wrote the song said, no. I guess because that song's been played at every wedding I've ever been to. I mean, and I've never been to a gay wedding. Not yet, but still, I have no problem with that. But I'm just saying that, like, for this guy to have the balls, like 50 years later, say, no. This was a song I used to go to the YMCA, and this is about my experiences.
Right.
When you were in a band with a guy who was dressed up with a leather biker, a cowboy with a vest on, the guy with the hard hat. Come on. I don't know. It sounded very fishy to me. I was Chris Morgan or somebody was doing it. Anyway, I had to get that out.
So come on out to the viewing party Saturday, March 8th. The event is
the YMCA
in the Facebook group. And yes, we will do the YMCA dance.
It'll be held at a YMCA. No. It'll be at Flannery's, right?
McHale's.
I'm sorry. I got the coat rack still on my mind.
The coat rack.
The coat rack. Jonas Flaherty. Flannery. I keep saying Flaherty for whatever reason.
85 people watching the show on Twitter.
Wow. I love this Twitter. I love
one lonely person watching us on Twitch. That's probably Costa.
Well, listen. One is the unloneliest number that you can ever do. Anyway, what else we got? Oh, we'll talk about the Utah game. Tell me about the Utah game. I kind of forgot about it.
Well, what Rangers won that game 5-3. It was their first trip to Utah. Players down.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Players sounded like they were impressed with the atmosphere. A lot of Ranger fans there. I was curious to see what the Ranger fan turnout would be in Utah. I don't know if Utah is a popular landing spot for New York transplants, or if there were a lot of fans that just went to go to that game and experience the Rangers' first game in Utah. But they did seem to have a pretty good turnout, and the players seemed to like it. And anything's better than what was going on in Arizona in a college, ice rink.
Oh, that was horrible. They were
8,700, 87 fans, and the Rangers had to walk. They had to walk to Mesa to go to the locker room, and Peter Laviolette doing the press conference outside.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Didn't they have like partitions that were like the locker rooms and stuff?
Yes.
I was like, really?
Yeah.
Like,
yes. And he had to do the post game out. It looked like he was out in the parking lot.
Now, what I see, Blaine has mentioned there was a lot of empty seats.
I did see some,
but it was during the week, that game in Utah.
Yes,
everything shuts down, and I've been to Salt Lake City, and everything shuts down at fucking 6:30. I mean, there's barely a restaurant open.
Yeah, that game was on a Thursday night, but the Rangers
got off to a bad start again, and again with the bad starts.
Yep.
Last night was different. They scored first, but usually it's a bad start. It didn't look good. That first period was atrocious. The second period wasn't much better, but the third period, the floodgates opened.
Yes, they rallied in the third period, 3 goals, and they won the game.
Now, while watching the game, and I don't know how much of the game you watched. Did you watch the whole game?
I think that night I watched the first 2 periods.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people did that. I also want to give Joe DeVita some credit, because I've never heard of this cool term called the term for a gay bar, a Crisco disco. I'm going to give you mad props for that, because I'm going to use that somewhere.
That's fantastic.
That is fantastic. I will be using that in my stand-up routine Saturday night at the Chuckle Hut, where me and Gerard Gallant will be double billing. Sam and Joe made this comment about this Utah team is not an expansion team. They've got a tremendous amount of young talent. And I'm saying to myself, but they're not even in the playoff hunt with all this tremendous. When they overstate like this, it drives me nuts. I understand Clayton Keller is a good player. He got a couple of goals the other night. But when you tell me that you got a tremendous young talent, I mean, Arizona, Phoenix, whatever you had, they had these players for a couple of years. Utah's not developed. I don't even know who their fucking coach is. Some guy I never even heard of. I mean, it could be Blaine Harms for all I know. I don't know. I don't know. So, I watched the game and I couldn't remember who this guy's name was. Well, who is his name? What's his name?
Andre Tourigny, I believe is how you say his name.
You can't have a French Canadian teaching Utah, coach in Utah.
Another bald coach.
Yeah, they're all bald. So I'm not buying it. They got great. Yes, they get good draft picks, but talent. I mean, there's like 3.
Well, they do have some good players.
All right, reel some names off. I'll tell you if they're good or not.
Clayton Keller,
good.
Nick Bustad.
Okay, go ahead.
Matthias Maselli, who scored 2 goals in that game.
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. He did get 2 goals. Yes, you're correct.
Logan Cooley is another good player.
All right. No relation, Joe.
No, different spelling, Joe.
Different spelling.
Josh Doan, Shane Doan's kid. Shane Doan, Arizona Coyote legend.
Does his
legend?
I know, but he was a former Winnipeg Jet legend too.
Shane Doan doesn't pay for a drink in Phoenix.
He doesn't. You've seen this? Let me ask you a question. Now, maybe I why would you know this? I don't know. But do all those like Frederick Olesen, Timu Solani, Shane Doan, do all those flares get transported to the Utah franchise now?
I would assume so. I mean, it's all the same franchise. They are still the, Arizona Coyotes / Winnipeg Jets, I guess. Or I don't know. I don't remember what happened with when the new Jets came along. Did they get the old Jets history, or does that still belong to
I'm
the Utah franchise?
That is an interesting question.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I need answers, folks. We got over 5,000 watchers right now on all various platforms. Somebody give me an answer, God damn it. I like that fake outrage.
And you know who else plays for the Utah Hockey Club?
Who?
Hello, Fada Olimata. The guy's played for everybody except the Rangers at this point. I feel like every time the Rangers play a road game, Olimata's on the other team.
Yes, it's true. Olimata is fairly young. I thought this guy was like 40, but he's another guy who came in when he's 18, and he's played like 10 years. The Jets have the Thrashers history. Wow. So what's that? Ilya Kovalchuk and Dustin Byfuglien?
Oh, that's right. The Jets were in an expansion team. They have that's right. I forgot.
And did you see the trivia question?
Hard to keep track when the league just keeps going back to the same cities.
Did you see the answer to the trivia question yesterday? I completely forgot about the guy that was the answer.
Oh, yeah, Andre Pavlich.
Pavlik, yeah.
Pavlik. I completely forgot he was with the Rangers.
I did too. There was a play, and maybe you could find it on the internet. What Pavlik, I don't think it was as a Ranger, but I think when he was with the Thrash, he gets hit with a puck and he faints or something. He faints on ice. I don't think he gets hit. I think it's before a face-off. He just faints. Olimata, Olifada, I want to go to Camp Granada. Let's see if we can dig that video up. The Bitsky. Oh, here it is. You were
right under the tape of Jason Chimera.
Well, you said you think he has a little bit. Oh, jeez, Louise, Andre.
The goalie down at the other end.
Andre Pavlik is down. This does
my
not.
God.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
like
JD.
Andre Pavlik flat on his back. Greg Smith.
They're calling for everybody. They've got to get out there in a hurry.
Doctors coming from the sideline. Greg Smith off the Capitals bench. Just 2 minutes and 25 seconds into this contest, and Phillips Arena, stunned silence.
Just like the franchise.
Whistle far away from.
Just like Pavlik was doing the early impersonation of the franchise.
Another bald coach.
The play, and Craig Ramsey's netminder went down in a heap.
That notes for Craig Ramsey? Oh, Joe.
Obvious looks of concern in the
up as the whistle was blowing for an icing call. Oh, and there he is going down, Joe.
Oh my goodness!
Right when he was in his stance.
Oh my goodness!
There you go.
Wow. Oh, Joe. Yes, that was Alan Sherman who did that song. Wow. That was something. That's when he found out he was getting traded to the Rangers.
And wasn't getting a no-move clause.
Yes. But I had completely forgotten that guy was a netminder for the Rangers. Was
yeah,
that
during
the rebuild?
I took a complete guess at that trivia question. I knew I wasn't right. I guessed Antti Ranta, not remembering what years he was with them. They've been through so many backups. You know, we've had the same two steady starters for 15 years, whatever, or 20 years really. And but they've cycled through so many backups that it's hard to remember who was when. Cam Talbot, Alex Old, Andre Pavlik, Yaroslav Halak, Jonathan Quick. So
yes, Clint Malarchuk was the worst. There's no doubt about that. But this isn't a gory. No, not Mark Pavlich, the late Mark Pavlich.
Yes.
How's Barry Beck doing? Anybody know? He was in the Hong Kong hospital there. I don't know. He looked like he was on his deathbed.
This John Riggs pulling up an old.
He's
old
big.
phrase
He's
there.
bald. He's Alex Old.
He knows his history.
Yes, very good. Very good. Huskadoo.
Mackenzie Skapsky.
That was Joe's guess on the trivia question, believe it or not.
Skapsky?
Yeah, that was Joe Micheletti's guess on the. I don't him. I know he beat the Sabres like 2 times or something. I
thought those were the only 2 games he played.
Yeah, I don't think he got a shutout in either one of them, but I don't know, maybe. But
played 2 games.
It looked like the fans were there. I don't know why that franchise didn't last. I guess Atlanta, they tried it there enough. Barry
Both
has a
games
book.
against Buffalo.
Barry Beck has a book, Pat T. I did not
really?
know that. I did not know. Is it called back to Bubba, the autobiography?
Mackenzie Skapsky beat the Sabres 3-1 and 2-0 and called it a career. And called it a career.
The redheaded stepchild. Zarley Zalapsky, one of the best names ever in hockey.
Retired with a 2-0 record, a .978 save percentage, and a one. Right, where's his goals? Oh, a .5 goals against. Best goaltender in Ranger history.
Yes.
Looking forward to Mackenzie Skapsky night.
Yes, he'll get the silver stick
when number 70 goes to the rafters.
What did you think about Marty's reaction after beating the New York Rangers in overtime? Martin St. Louis. He was all jazzed. And
yeah, he was all fired up.
Did you get annoyed by it?
I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care.
I like Martin St. Louis as a Ranger. I can't hold anything against him. His grandmother, his grandmother died and win us a playoff series.
On Mother's Day, he won. Yeah, died, and then he had that overtime winner on Mother's Day.
It's called The Cell, huh? I did not realize. Could you punch this up? Barry Beck's The Cell? What is that about? Some jailhouse tattoos Barry got? Yep. Shoot the puck, Barry. Shoot the puck. It should be called Shoot the Puck.
There you go.
Oh, there. A story of tragedy and survival. It just came out.
A year ago.
A year ago. Oh, yeah. Yeah, his son Brock got murdered.
Yeah.
A gang-related thing. Wow.
And then not long after that was when Pavlich died.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good tip, Pat. Thank you. Pat, one of the all-time greats. He is. He's all... I've broken bread with Pat. Wow.
Remember Laundry Room, Pat? Remember that guy? Used to call us.
His wife.
He used to hide from his wife in the laundry room so he could smoke, and he'd call us.
Ah.
We used to call him Laundry Room Pat.
Yes.
He might have made it out to a viewing party once, too, I think.
I think so, too.
But that was years ago. Long time ago.
Hawk and Lube, one of the old-time good names.
Radek Bonk.
Radek Bonk.
That was one of my favorite hockey names. Radek Bonk.
I like that, was it Steve Bozak? What a Bozak.
Soapy So Tart. It's the worst.
The yeah.
It's the worst.
I loved Doug Sotart as a kid. I was infatuated with Ranger goalies as a kid because of the masks.
Right.
Love the masks. And that was like even another one of your guys, Wayne Thomas. He had some great masks.
Wayne Thomas. Hold on a second.
At the Village Pub, Jim. Patty!
The Village Pub, Jim.
Last time I checked, he was playing at an AC/DC. I don't know if that's still going on. Is that still going on, Pat? He plays in an ACD. He used to play in an ACD cover band that only played AC/DC Bon Scott songs. None of the newer ones. Newer. Relatively newer. I don't know. He's doing something else, I think. He's a guy he's very good guitarist. Very nice fellow, as they used to say. A good fellow. Not in that way, but a good guy. What's this?
Barry Beck right there.
There
he is.
Barry Beck, the captain. Never really was
1986 playoff program.
Oh, $2.99 there?
$2.50.
$2.50
with the cigarette ad on the back.
Bob Beer is a very good name. Ron Tugnut. I always
look at that. I opened right to the page. Pictures from the playoffs from the lens of George Kalinsky. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. George. They loved your photographs. The one you took of me and Millie in the bedroom were great.
Steve Vickers scores against the Islanders in a 79 playoff game.
Oh, those were the good old days. Those were the good old days when I was just.
Look at him. Just a young man then.
Look at Sam. I'd say he had more hair then, but that would be untrue. He still had the same. He had actually had a. Who's that? Vadner?
Marv Albert.
Marv Albert? He's not.
Marv Albert.
I'm surprised he's not in women's underwear.
Now.
Yes. When Howard used to play that, he used to dump on Marv all the time.
Yes.
Remember when he used to be on Letterman, Marv? But come on.
This program is just full of dead people.
Yeah, really.
John Madden.
Oh, I love John Madden. He only travels by bus.
These are good. I bought these from George Grimm. Some of these I don't think were ever even opened. Oh, look who's on the back. See that?
Is it Bobby Sheehan? Wow.
Yeah, but see who's under him?
Glenn Sather. I see Bobby Sheehan
and Bobby Russo.
Oh wow, that's old time. That's before my time. Remember the time when I was just going to reminisce here for one second. They're talking about Ray Rutzler, that Esposito was so convinced that Rayo was taking longer shifts than he should be, that in the booth, Phil was timing his shifts and then saying it. What he had against that guy, I have no idea. Then I think Rayo went on to win 2 Stanley Cups with Edmonton. He was a terrific offensive defenseman. He was terrific.
Here's another one. 87 playoffs.
Playoffs?
Big article in here with Bob Froese.
Carrie Wilson, former guest of this show. It's so funny that Carrie then had his son played, right? What was his son's name? He was on Nashville. Anybody remember that?
I don't remember.
We've got 2 generations of Wilsons that played in the NHL. He was a good defensive forward.
Is this the guy that couldn't fly?
Oh, yeah, that's Tom Webster, yes. He had the inner ear problem.
Right.
Joe DeVita backing me up that Espo hated Rexy. Why? I don't know. Probably because he was taking jobs away from those Canadian boys. We used to hate the foreigners back in the day. And it all started with the Canadian boys that were the most xenophobic. That's right, Canada. Is it xenophobic or xenophobic? I don't know. Xenophobic, the warrior princess, for all I know.
Zeno, I believe.
Zeno. Tom Webster can't fly to road games. Why are we picking a coach that can't fly to road games?
You know who? Speaking of people who are no longer with us, Tom McVie died today. Remember Tom McVie?
Yeah, I remember him. He sounded like fucking Kennedy there, the guy who's in the running the fucking the virus squad there, whatever.
The virus squad.
Disease control, whatever the fuck they call that. Trump appointed him to fucking what is it? Public health or whatever. He talked like that. Where it sounds like he's fucking had a hot poker shoved down his throat. And I don't mean like in a sexual way. I mean, he's just, hey, I'm Tom McPhee. Hey, how are you? Look at his record with the fucking Capitals as coach in the mid 70s.
Tom McVie?
Yeah, Tom McVie. Look at some of his fucking records. Some of the most abysmal coaching ever.
He was 8-31 his first season. And he was 24-42, then 17-49. This guy lasted 3 years.
The Devils got him.
He was 80 games under 500. He still managed to last 3 seasons. Then he got hired by Winnipeg in the WHA, and they fired him after 19 games with a winning record. Oh no, excuse me, that's incorrect. He was hired mid-season with Winnipeg, and then they moved to the NHL, and his record with Winnipeg was 20-67. Then he went to the Devils, and he had 1 winning season in 3 years.
I can coach better from the death, from the coffin.
Tom McVie.
He'll be hired as New York Rangers interim coach. His urn will be behind the bench. Jean-Guy Talbot still trying to find that one picture of him with the tracksuit. Find that. This is this just came in. Mike, you guys give me the Wayback Machine here. Michelle Bergeron. We traded number 1 pick to get that idiot. And as far as Jean-Guy Talbot, I forgot who it was who told us this, but they couldn't understand what word he was saying. There he is. Look at that haircut.
James Patrick told us that they couldn't understand a word Michelle Bergeron was saying.
They were laughing at him. They had to hide behind their jerseys in the locker room.
Yeah, that was James Patrick that told us that.
CBJ with the sides cut off is tied with the New York Krylanders 1-1. This just in. Ron Kamitsky reporting. Wow. I got to say, Tom McVie may have been the worst coach, record-wise.
He's up there.
I know what I'm doing. Get me Zibanejad.
He had a winning season, and then he never coached again.
He went out on top. That's what you do. Yeah, we've done that twice. We traded a number 1 pick to get Shiro, which hey, we got a Stanley Cup appearance out of that. I don't know what those picks turned out to be, but hey, it worked out. Rangers trade picks for coaches. I'd never heard of that. Number 1 picks for coaches. That's like a Ranger thing only. I like going down the wormhole with you guys. He's a brand ambassador for losing.
Well, when did they have Bergeron? That was probably 88, right? 87, 88?
Sounds good.
I see Quebec had 2 number 1 picks in 1988. 1 pick they selected Curtis Lecision, and 1 pick they selected Daniel Doré.
That Curtis Lecision.
Daniel Doré played 1 NHL game.
Curtis Lecision was okay.
Curtis Lecision played 1,000 NHL games. I don't know which one of those. I don't know if that's. They also had 2 number 1 picks in 1987, but I think that was before Bergeron.
Chef really, he got me with that one. 1 cup in 100 years. Fucking preposterous. Why are we even doing this show, ladies and gentlemen?
What are we doing?
What are we doing with our lives? We're all in together. Wow. All these memories do they trigger. It's funny because you think like me, like I get together with my friends, we talk about this, and me and Jim talk about this. It's good to know that other people have these memories too about this stupid fucking franchise. 50 years old, 50 years old, these memories from, and everybody remembers every exact detail. Meanwhile, we lost our under 25 audience, but hey, what are you going to do? Andre Dory, not one of your better hockey players.
That was the first time in NHL history an NHL coach was traded. Just before the 1987 draft, Bergeron was traded to the New York Rangers for a first-round draft pick and $75,000. But it doesn't say what year. Now, in 87, the Nordiques selected Brian Fogarty.
Drunk.
With the, with
that
the
was
number
Stephen
9
Fogarty.
pick.
Stephen Fogarty was a drunk.
And then also in the first round, selected Joe Sakic. But there's no way that Joe Sakic pick was the Rangers pick because we never would have heard the end of it.
Yes.
We'd still be living that down.
Yes. Well, excellence has never really been our forte.
Right. We're not here. We're not here for the wins.
We're not here for the wins. We're here for the camaraderie and the funny stuff. Hey, listen, recently the Rangers have been good in the regular season. We've had a lot of winning hockey, but now we're back to stinking again. Well, Jim, that's all I got. We've reached the hour and a half. That's about all. Unless you want to talk about something else. I mean,
I can't really think of anything else right now.
Anybody got any other suggestions out there in Twitter or?
Let's see. Quick check of the schedule coming up. Ottawa tomorrow night. Flyers on Thursday. Avalanche on Sunday afternoon. And then the Hurricanes. So, again, I'll just say that, if you still have aspirations on the Rangers making the playoffs, and I know that Sam and Joe and other people are making a big deal about all these teams that the Rangers would have to leapfrog to make the playoffs. My argument is it's only 3 or 4 teams, and they're going to play every one of these teams at least once or twice. So if you're still of the mind that you think the Rangers can make the playoffs, it is not as insurmountable as one might think. Now, I'm not saying this team's going to make the playoffs and go on some magical run. I'm just saying that if you are of the mind, if in your head you are still trying to go through the permutations of how the Rangers can make the playoffs, it's not as difficult as people think because they're going to play all these teams that are in front of them. They're going to play the Flyers. They just played Montreal. Obviously, they let that one get away. They just beat Columbus. They're going to play Columbus, I think, 2 more times or 3 more times. They're going to play Boston again. They've got 2 games at hand against Boston. They're playing Ottawa at least twice. Cutter, what are you sending me?
Well, you figure out what Cutter is looking at. I think he's... So, let me get this right. They fired... Let me see if my... Okay.
He sent me an article that the Rangers traded...
Oh, the Daniel Doré?
Bergeron. The pick they traded was in the 88 draft. So, yeah, it was either Lecision or Daniel Doré.
It looks like it's Daniel Doré it's getting. Now, just to satisfy my own memory, which I think is correct, he fires Bergeron and then steps behind the bench.
Yes.
Espo.
Yes.
And I'll never forget, the Rangers were down 1 game at the Garden. He has fucking Eddie Jacquemin as like, I don't know if he was an assistant coach. Was he a brand ambassador like Tom McVie? Waving a white towel behind it there. And I'm going, it is pathetic that they have this Ranger legend on the bench waving a white towel to spur the team on. I'm like, he should throw out the white towel.
fired him with 2 games left in the season.
Wonderful GMs we've had.
What's great is that he fires them, and Espo says they have philosophical differences that somehow didn't exist until there were 2 games left in the season.
It's like Espo said, I could do a better job. Bye.
And I think that was. Did they make the play? They made the playoffs with Espo as coach, didn't they?
Yeah. I'll never that. Was it the Richter goal or the Ron Francis goal? Something happened in there that was cataclysmic. When Ron Francis scored from the red line or something. I don't know. I get these years kind of blend together.
That was 91.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the Rangers got swept by the Penguins. They did make the playoffs, but they got swept by the Penguins.
I have to tell you, that is a colossal mess.
That was Beezer and Bob Froese. Guy Lafleur was on that team.
Now, what is
you got some good players, though. Sandstrom, they had Leach.
Yeah.
They had a 20-year-old Brian Leach, Brian Mullen, Tony Granato, the aforementioned Carey Wilson, the aforementioned James Patrick. Ulf Dahlin was on that team. Marcel Dion was on that team.
Oh, the Ron Francis 50-footer was Messier's first year. Okay.
Yes.
Joey Pacino. I wonder if he's still alive. Maybe we can come get him as a guest again.
He was a good guest.
He was good. He told you everything. Basically, who he was getting drugs for. Everything. The crimes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to go. Zuki is meowing in the back. That means I must be attentive.
Yes. He has to take the cat for his nightly walk.
Yes. It has been an absolute pleasure to be with you tonight, Jim.
It
has. The Monday night thing, you fucking pulled it off. We took it all the way back to the 70s. I mean, where are you going to get that?
Right.
Where are you going to get that? All these other, the Scratchy and the Redhead there.
Scratchy? Big Red and Brain Dead.
Big Red and Brain Dead. They don't know this shit. This is who has these memories?
By the way, I noticed one of the other Ranger podcasts that's out there went out and got Peter Baugh as a guest from The Athletic.
Yeah. Welcome.
Right. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. We love you. Viewing party March 8th. Don't forget to sign up for Patreon. Patreon.com/Blueshirt Underground Show. Sponsor the show. We'll take good care of you. We love you. Eddie, always a pleasure.
Let's go Rangers. Let's fucking do something.
Absolutely. Good night, everybody.